So I'd like to thank you for joining us for a training with Jon Gasca. Very excited to have him with us in person to explain all of his beautiful designs, one of our longtime friends of Design Within Reach. We will be doing a Q&A at the end, so please think of your questions and we'll let you know when we're ready. All right, thank you, Jon.
Thank you for coming with Monday morning earlier than ever, so thank you so much. Okay, I'm Jon Gasca, and I work for STUA. STUA is a family company that my father founded around 30 years ago, and we are based in San Sebastian. It's a very beautiful industrial city, even if it doesn't look like very industrial. This is our factory, and STUA. It's a very small team. My father and I, we do the designs, and he's 75 since yesterday, and we try to create a collection of furniture. Well, this is my mother and sister who are the main part of the company. My father and I we do the design, but the CEO of the company is my sister Ellen, and my mother has been there always. In charge of everything. So we are a factory, we manufacture, we create the designs. So it's a very small team, and that's why we do a very small collection. Probably you know most of the things that we do, but we don't do many things, and we can't do many things, but we like to focus on very few items. And mainly here you work for the retail, for the home, for the home market, but when we design something, we always try to make it look nice for the eye, but strong inside so that they are for the contract market. So usually we are softer when people look at us from the contract side, but our products are very long-lasting from the retail side. So it's true that we have a very special relation between Design Within Reach and STUA. Why did it happen? So in the year 2000, the first year of Design Within Reach, we were showing in Valencia in a furniture fair, and Rob Forbes, the founder of Design Within Reach, came. He was the buyer at that time. He was choosing every piece that was in the catalog, and he fell in love with our collection immediately. So since then, we have been growing a relation that has become special. But it's true that it's been a very, very long process. We've been here forever, since the beginning, and we are really proud of it. So at one point, we were having other retailers across the US, and Design Within Reach was asking, how can we make this relation more special? And I was thinking it's a little bit silly that we have other shops selling a little of STUA in the US. I prefer to focus in Design Within Reach. It's more risky, obviously, but so since for maybe 10 years now, Design Within Reach is exclusive retailer of STUA. So every time you push STUA, nobody else is going to have it. So I think that's pretty good because if they fall in love for STUA products, they will have it from Design Within Reach, which I think it's a very important thing to have. So, costura. This is the latest product we have done. It's been a very, very long process. The team of Design Within Reach was helping me during 1 year to make this happen because they were coming to a factory to overview how we were doing things and so on. But the sparkle of a product always comes with, well, it doesn't always come with an idea, but it's good that it has a strong idea. So all this sofa came from my goal of doing a sofa that would have the slimmest frame. I don't think we need a big frame for a sofa at home. We waste the space having a big frame. I prefer that we have a very wide seating area and we have a very thin frame. So this is the frame of the costura sofa. It's super thin. It's like less than 2 fingers. So, and it's super strong because it's made of plywood. So, well, all these images in black and white are confidential. It's like nobody sees this. It's what is inside the sofa, okay? So here there are 30 sofas. So in a space like this, the frames are for 30 sofas. This is really amazing. Usually when you have frames for sofas, they take a huge space. So this is the inception of the Costura sofa, how it started. I knew I wanted to do a sofa with a plywood frame. That was all. And from there, the sofa kept on growing, okay? So, sorry. So when you have this huge plywood piece, we inserted some belts. And for instance, the sofa has, in the front part, that it's here, it has an aluminum beam that nobody sees so that it doesn't bend. Because if heavy people sit in the middle, it would bend with only plywood. So we have added this aluminum beam that makes it super strong. So plywood is super strong, but we even make it stronger so that it looks perfect all the time. So from this starting point, we kept on looking for more. So this is the frame that we got, okay? So it's very, very thin. And it has this curve that helps the look of the sofa to be more cozy. And it allows also the back to be beautiful from the back, which is really, I think it's really important, but here you can see it's isolated and it's not a wall, a flat wall. It has a curve that makes it very, very beautiful. So what did we achieve by making this thin frame? We make the seating area the biggest possible, and then we came to okay, we have the frame. So we add arms that are as thick as the back frame, so very, very thin. So we needed to make the cushions. So the cushions have something that it's a little bit special, is that they have a pillow shape, which is very, very contemporary, so that you can remove them and make the space for sitting bigger. Or you can even put them like this if you want to lie like this, or with your partner. Or so, because I was asking my friends and so on, so I would ask my mother, how do you sit in a sofa? And my mother sits in a sofa like this. But most of my friends don't say that. They lie on the sofa, so they, you know. So I wanted to make a sofa that would fit both younger audience and my mother. It's very important. That's a key question. So, so we did these pillows, which are special, because most of the sofas in the market don't have this type of pillows, and they are even reversible. So imagine they get ugly or whatever, you can turn them around. So it's one of the most used parts of the sofa, the back. They are easy to take off, and you can turn them. Okay, so we have the shape of the sofa. So I came to the second part. How do you tailor? How do you fix the details of the sewing of the costura? So my mother, my grandmother, I need water. My whole life, I have been around the house of my grandmother. My grandmother, well, you know Cristobal Balenciaga? So she was a tailor, one of the persons with the machines, and she would work in the studio of Balenciaga. So I have always been in touch with sewing machines and so on. So this is Balenciaga. This is the atelier in San Sebastian. So, well, in fact, this is me. This is Bautizo. I don't know how you say that in English, but, well. So she would be the mannequin where Balenciaga, the fashion designer, would make the dresses on her own body. So she would rip their sleeves or whatever. So she was always talking about Balenciaga and all his influential things. So when we started making the costura, I didn't want to make all the tailoring that it's common to the sofas. I wanted to make details that were specific to the fashion industry. So everything in the sofa that we have included tries to mimic details of high-end tailoring. So we have different, the sewing, even the name of the sofa is costura, means sewing, or the seam. Okay? So we try to minimize the amount of sews. Like here, many sofas would have a seam here, but I don't like it because as time goes by, the fabrics move a little, and I don't like that it doesn't look perfect. So even if we spend more fabric, we get rid of the seam here and the seam here, so the sofa looks nicer, longer time. Everything in the sofa has been done with this purpose, so that we maximize the beauty over the long time. So by the end, the design of the sofa didn't come from a drawing, okay? It came from working. So by the end of the design, the look of the costura sofa is very mid-century, but it has these details that are very contemporary, like the shape of the cushions and so on. So this is more or less the starting point of the collection. So it's true that when we started with a two-seater sofa, like until here, and then with Design Within Reach, we developed the chaise longue and the armchair, okay? So another of the key things of the costura is, okay, everything we do, we try that it's a little bit special. Not completely special because we cannot make miracles, but so for instance, after we did the design of the sofa, we designed the legs. We knew that we wanted legs that would not be straight, like a metal bar. So we did this injection molding piece that allows the legs to be in different positions. So my father is being very minimalist, and he wants everything to be very severe, and I'm more romantic, more classical looking. So we were fighting all the time. Which legs should we have, straight legs or angled legs? So I said, okay, let's make a system that allows us to have the legs in any of those two positions. So the legs have this round shape in the base, so you can screw them in a way or the other way. So this allows you to change the legs of your sofa whenever you want. Even if you have a new partner, you can and the new partner prefers another way, we can make it. So it's good so here you can see this would be a more minimal looking, and this would be more classical looking. And it's the same legs, the same value, and it's another way of having something else that doesn't, very few, I don't know if there is any other sofa that makes this. Chaise longue, again. So we were thinking about making a chaise longue that is not a typical chaise longue. So how can we do something that helps us to sell more chaise longues and also to have less coats? Because I don't want to have a chaise longue that stays on the left or another chaise longue that stays on the right or so on. So we did a chaise longue that is white, that almost looks like a sofa seat. This is 1 meter. This is 90 centimeters. It's slightly narrower, but it doesn't look narrow. It looks opulent and wide. But one of the key things is that we wanted that you could put this armchair on this side or on this side. So imagine we have this sofa and we change our apartment. We are moving. We want to take our sofa with us, but the layout of the house is different. So what would we do? We take off this arm and we open here these zippers. And here there is a hole. So we can separate the sofa from the armchair in a minute. And we could take this armchair and get rid of that arm, put the chaise longue here, and put the arm again. So this gives you a lot of freedom. And in fact, you can change the look of your sofa immediately. Or even if you have a sofa and you want to buy the chaise longue later, this is something that you can always do. This is something quite unique, I think. And it's a very, very important thing for helping people decide if they want to buy costura or not. So you see there are 4 metal pieces that hold the arm to the armchair. These same pieces connect the sofa or the chaise longue together. So imagine you want a huge sofa. You take two sofas, you get rid of the arms, and you connect them, because the connecting system for the arms and between two sofas is the same, okay? So, and the last piece of costura is the armchair. It's selling extremely well. We are very, very surprised because it's very well priced too. And well, it's beautiful from any angle. I wanted to talk to you. Okay, yeah. All the collection, again, in Spain it's very common that people clean the covers, even in the washing machine, and then they iron them. So we needed a sofa that would be completely cover removable. I don't know how you say that. So the whole costura collection, you can upholster the whole piece, okay? So you can take and clean the covers. And you can buy the covers from us if you want to change the upholstery. Okay. The last piece is the less important, is the ottoman. But the only thing that we did about the ottoman was make it this wide. So if you want to follow the sofa, you can make a chaiselong that is even longer. Or we did also that it's narrow as the armchair. So you can make an armchair look or become a chaiselong, which is really nice. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that all these shapes, I don't know if you noticed, but they are not flat. Most of the sofa makers make a flat surface here. We did, this has a bubble shape, or how do you say? Rounded shape. It's like part of a sphere, so that when you sit, it goes down, but when you stand up, slowly this foam recovers and pushes against the fabric. So all the wrinkles tend to disappear. This is really nice because these sofas have been here for almost 10 months and they look like pretty new. And that's because we try to avoid that they have wrinkles. And I think we have been quite successful with that. So it's true, when we were bringing costura to Design Within Reach, you have a very wide collection of fabrics, but the team decided that instead of having all the options but not a stock, they would choose 7 colors, like these 7, and they always keep a stock of all of them, all the pieces in all the fabrics. This is pretty amazing because it gives you a lot of quick service to the end customer, and it's really it's been working really well. And it's true, you cannot have 50 options, 4 frames and 50 fabric options in stock all the time. So this is the last thing about, well, some of the proprietors told me, why don't you tell us about future things? One of the things is that we have done a table that is matching the design of the costura sofa. It's called solapa. Solapa is this, and it's also overlay. So it slightly overlays one over the other. It's very classical shape, and it has the same leg design of the sofa. So it's very simple. It's walnut or black, and this is something that maybe Liz will bring into the collection later this year. So I forgot to mention that one of the things, costura is obviously California 117, whatever, fire retardant. Also the frame is, also the foam, there is a velour that covers the whole frame. Everything is fire retardant. And the foams are, everything inside here and here is foam. This has the shape of teardrop. It has a teardrop shape so that it takes very well the lumbar support, which is very important for comfort. And depending on how tall you are, you might need an additional cushion. So we always supply the sofa with this additional cushion, which is made of feather, 100% feathers. But usually I would use the sofa like this. But if you are not very tall or you prefer to to use this small cushion, you can use it, but it's additional. But we always deliver, every seat has one of these cushions included in the sofa. So in the same fabric of the sofa. And this is foam and this is feather, and that's all. Now I'm going to explain Globus chair. It's a design from my father. Globus chair, when you think, we wanted to create, I always talk as we as a team. Sometimes the main idea comes from my father, and sometimes from me then, but we always work together. So we were looking for a shape that would look like, which is the lightest shape on the market, well, not on the market, on the wall. It's like, we wanted to make a chair that it's light. But light not only for the eye, not only for the weight of the chair, but also for the eyes. So the balloon is one of the lightest feeling shape. So Globus comes from the shape of a balloon, kind of. That's why it has this shape that looks like elevating. So, and then instead of having a solid surface, we also wanted a chair that would be easy to grab. So one of the nice things of Globus is that it's inside the design of the chair. It's like a handle, in fact. So it's really easy to move, and it's really light. So another thing that we did is that this metal piece would follow the shape of the backrest. So now we have a very nice collection of colors, but in a few weeks' time, we are going to change the colors to have a more basic collection, and we are going to include a gray color, which is really, really nice. It's true that we have been very successful with Globus. We have done very nice projects all over the world. We have sold more than, I think, 1 million Globus chairs all over the world. They are super strong. And one of the things that is going to happen in the assortment is that now we have chrome frames, stainless steel frames. It's a little bit messy. All of the frames are going to be stainless steel, like with walnut and black and white and so on. And then we are going to have a completely black and completely white chair. So everything, you're going to be able to mix the chairs in a more easy way, because the white plastic one will have the same frame of the stainless steel one. So the frames will be connected. They will all be stainless steel. That's nice. Of course, we do crazy things or more. This is like a basic white, and obviously the chair, all of our chairs stacks always. Sometimes they can stack very high, sometimes not so high. This is a trolley that we have, and you can stack as many as you want. Then your body is not enough, it's not able to put more chairs on top of that. In the beginning, Globus was an indoor chair, like only with plywood. Then we did the plastic ones with the stainless frame. And it's true that all of the plastic ones are completely outdoors, which make them very versatile. Well, I don't know if in New York you use a lot of outdoor chairs, but in Miami and so on they do. So that's it. We do very few things. So one of the good things about our company is that our products stay with us for so long that we like to bring new things to the communication all the time. So recently, one lady made a tale for kids with Globus chair was the main role. And, okay. gas chair. So this was year 2000. 1 year after my father started a company, he bought a roll of mesh. Okay? Mesh is this material. It's like a fabric that has holes. 14 years later, he was able to make gas chairs. So the process of creating gas chair took 14 years. It's not the common thing, okay? Spend only if you own your own company and you are not under pressure from the manufacturer, you can spend 14 years designing the chair. So he started a company, he knew he wanted to make a mesh chair, but it took him 14 years to master the techniques to make a frame that would be so thin, so simple, so slim, so light, that could become a gas chair. So from the inception of the idea was, I want to make a chair in mesh. Finally, the gas chair is not mainly a mesh chair. It's become an upholstered chair. But the inception of the idea comes from I want to make a chair that it's as light as possible with the slightest frame that we can, and the slimmest frame that we can, and a frame that it's beautiful on its own. So that's why he did this chair. That this is the heaviest one because it has upholstered padding, but still it's very, very light. And so this is the mesh, as you can see, and all the frames of the chair are super slim and very, very rounded shape and very curvy. So this is something that we can achieve doing injection molding aluminum. So, well, in the beginning, all the chairs were with a fixed frame, but lately we have developed the one on casters. In fact, the one on casters is become super popular because it's a very, how do you say, home office looking chair, and the price point is also pretty amazing. So we have been very attentive to having, if you have a white frame, you have white casters instead of having black ones. Most of the people do that. We have chrome frame, we have chrome casters, and if we have black casters. I want to explain to you something else. So in the beginning, we only had mesh here, but then we developed a seat that was made of plastic. And then we developed an upholstery for this plastic. So inside of this, there is a plastic. This is the plastic one, and this is the upholstered one. They almost look the same because we did a very, very thin upholstery because we didn't want to look heavy. We wanted that they would look thin, okay? So this is like a home office with one of the versions that you already carry, the all white one, the all black one. This is my home. It's really comfortable. One of the key things of gas chair is the shape of the back. So my father thinks that a back that holds you like this and also like this is like the best lumbar support you can get. So when his designs since year 2000, when he made this shape, tried to replicate this shape in the back because there are not 27 shapes that are the best. There can't be so many, so there are very few, and he thinks this shape is the best for the lumbar support. So we are going to see that another chair that he has recently done has the same shape with completely different technique. So this is a dining room with gas chair, white gas chairs, crazy meeting rooms. One of the nice things of gas chair, it's been here for 16 years already, so we have been able to furnish the Guggenheim Museum in New York. It's something that it's there up in the city. As I was saying before, this chair has the same shape for the back. So it's a very, here we have the same shape, but the technique to make these chairs completely different from the gas chair. So this is La Classica chair. So my father wanted to create a chair very classic looking, very contemporary, but classic looking. So because he thought his mother would never buy gas chairs because metal at home, no, I don't want that. So he wanted to make a chair that would fit any home, but would be extremely contemporary, but while being subtle, okay? So the main thing about La Classica chair is that it's made of a very thin three-dimensional plywood. As you can see, the shapes are really dramatic for plywood, very, very strong. And, but instead of being just a wooden chair would have like a cross here, so that would make the frame. But my father didn't want to make that, so he made this piece. This is confidential, black and white. This is an aluminum piece that holds all the chair together. It's made of aluminum. So this is before we put the seat. So this is a very, very thin aluminum piece that holds all the chair together. This is like the key thing, and it's the most difficult thing to make from the chair, and it's hidden. But that's very, instead of, oh, I want to show that I have done something very special, he puts it under the seat, where it's very discreet. But you turn this chair, and it looks like this. It looks perfect. So this is the key part of the chair. It's a very sophisticated plywood part, and it's held all together with this aluminum part that holds everything together. We have recently launched also the version with upholstered seat. The upholstery is really thin because we don't want to make it heavy on the visual way, so this is upholstered. So we have natural finish. So the chair is always made in ash, and we stain the ash into white, gray, black, or natural. This is the black one. And we do restaurants sometimes. Here you can see the shades from black, gray, natural, and white. And they stack, obviously. It's a chair that stacks for a very limited amount. You cannot stack 20 because the plywood on the lower one would get damaged. So it's good that we don't have a lot of weight. So usually we stack up until 4 or 5. So now we are going to talk about Understool, which is one of Jon Edelman's favorite products. It's also a product that took a very, very long time to develop, like about 6 years, because this seat that might look like simple is in fact 3 pieces. It's like 3 seats, different seats. There is a core with a very strong material, I don't know the name. Then we have the white shell, and then we have the padding part. So we put in, instead of making the chair in one shot, we have to put it in 3 different processes. So making it happen was really very difficult labor, but by the end we are able to make a seat that it's completely different from any other seat in the market. So my father is a sailor, he loves the sea, and onda is the shape of a wave, okay? But also my father is engineer, so he's electrical engineer, so onda means also the electrical wave. So with these shapes, he made a shape that would make like the shape of the ondas. So instead of having, so this is all curvy, like for us. No, not allowed? How can I say that? For sitting, okay. This is all curvy for sitting. And, but how do we cut this shape? So very often they cut like a square shape. So my father wanted to make a shape that would be like you know, the waves, this feeling of it goes up and down. So one of the nice things of Honda is that the padding is smaller than the overall seat, so you can see the contour of the shape. So this line outlines the shape of the Honda stool, which is really nice, I think. And well, this was the starting point, and then we brought the all black version, the all white version, because sometimes people prefer a more minimalist look. Okay. We have 3 heights, like the lower one we have seen, the counter bar counter, and kitchen counter. And we have Design Within Reach only buys a stainless steel frame, which is perfect because it's going to be very, very long lasting. Obviously, I guess you know that stainless steel cannot get destroyed with almost anything. So it's the strongest solution you can get for a kitchen and so on. So here you have the 3 heights. Here you have an image from your collection. It's very, very useful for kitchens and so on. And one of the key things is that it's turning, because we didn't want to make a fixed stool. Because when you are sitting, it makes your life much, more comfortable. By the way, I will stay here. Okay, so it's true that thanks to the design, it's become very popular. We sell many, and also the Guggenheim Cafe on Central Park has on the stools on the bar. Okay, so we finished with all the seatings we are going to show now, and we will start with the tables. So we don't have any here, but this is the Deneb table. So this is the oldest product we have in the collection. It's 30 years. This design has already 30 years, and it's an aluminum frame. This aluminum frame can be natural aluminum, natural anodized aluminum, black or white, and they are all outdoor, okay? Depending on the top that you choose, you can use it outdoor or not. If you use walnut, you cannot take outdoor, but if you take glass or teak, they can go outdoor. They have the bench, and it's outdoor. We have HPL top, which is very, very strong, very durable, because if there is an atomic bomb, we will all gone, but the HPL will last. So the teak is really popular. One of the things that every table that we send, sorry, I need to find one. Every table that we send has all the slats without holes, okay? But we always send one additional slat that has a hole in the middle. So depending on your terrace or where you want to put the umbrella, you get rid of one of the slats and you put your slat with a hole. So this gives total freedom. I don't want a hole or I want hole. It's all included. Very often it happens to us, we have a design, but we are missing the table that matches the design. So when we did La Classica chair, we wanted to have a table that would match La Classica design. So this is all made in plywood and solid wood. And the key thing is that we wanted to have a frame that would look continuous. So here, the shape of the edge and the shape of the left have a continuity. So it looks, the design is always about the small details. How can you make a table look special? Okay, just take care of the details. So this is the special thing of Lau table. You are selling now Lau consoles. They are selling really well. But it's a very basic product, very nice. But here you can see how it matches the design of La Classica chair. Okay? Done. Okay, this is the only organic shape nesting tables that you have in your assortment. It's very well priced, but in a STUA we think, okay, if you make a flat surface with 3 legs, it shouldn't be expensive. So it comes in a flat packing like most of our designs. You screw your legs yourself. You have a felt fit on the lower part, and one of the nice things of Solapa is they give you freedom because you can put them, you can create different layouts. They are very, playful, very simple, and very basic design. We have oak, walnut, white, and that's it. This is a design that it's made for, we use laptops all the time, so we wanted to make a table that would be very easy to have nearby the sofa, so that it can go inside the frame of the sofa and you can sit and use for the laptop or whatever. And it's now you carry in stock the black frame with a walnut top, and it's a very simple design. When we had a factory built 15 years ago and we were moving, so we wanted to buy wardrobes to keep our storage and so on. And my father said, okay, why don't we make something for ourselves? And if it's good, we make it for everybody else. And if not, we keep it for ourselves only. So we did this design that it's, one of the key things is that this is a unit, this is like a body, and there is a base and a top. So we can stack as many bodies as we want until 5 or 6, and then put the top. So it's quite flexible system. And you remember the beam we had in the sofa? We use exactly the same beam for this shelving system. So there is a beam in the front. It's not only wood. There is a beam that that you can load the system and it doesn't fall. This is key because there are sliding doors, and if the sliding doors go on these guides, and if the door would go down, we would not be able to slide the doors, and we can have that happen. So it's a very simple system. We can have these aluminum beams are the guides for the sliding doors, and you can have transparent or frosted or plywood doors. So you can make a big library or a small unit for the TV, with a basic design. You can choose between a flat surface for the back or one with holes for cable management, which is really nice. So I know you have a wonderful website. It has become really beautiful recently, and but we also have a nice one. Okay, so I suggest that anytime. I suggest that you sometimes, if you need additional information that you are missing, you can go to our website. All the products are displayed there. And one of the nice things is that very often interior designers or if you want to create a 3D or 2D image or render, you need the 2 and 3D files. They are on our website available in plenty of formats. Also, you can have all the information about the product, technical information about the product. And we have also, if you need different images for inspiration or whatever, we have, you go to downloads in images, high resolution images of the product, and you have all these images really large sizes. So that's all for the product. I want to explain that we really focused on trying to help Design Within Reach sell STUA and so on. We really feel honored to have this strong relation because you work with some of the best manufacturers in the world, and we being so small in Spain, we feel proud to be your partners. And one of the nicest things we have recently done is that we have furnished the style house in LA. So this is real. This is December last year. We went to LA to make pictures in the style house because they are having all the collection together with more pieces from Design Within Reach set up in this beautiful house. So they have, every 2 years, they make a completely new interior. So this time they were having Costura collection, and we were able to make these beautiful images of our collection inside of there. And that's really, really nice. So I want to thank you for coming early on a Monday morning. I know some people will be watching this on the internet. 1 hour watching television is a lot for me talking. Thank you very much indeed, okay? I forgot. Semi-annual sale. Okay, so this year we have, how do you call that? The spiff? Spiff. I don't know what a spiff means. The best seller of STUA products gets a sofa, I think. The second and the third and the fourth, or I don't know, gets an armchair. So if there are 4 people that are going to get or a sofa, any sofa, or the 4 top sellers, for STUA, of course, will get one sofa, or 1 armchair, or 3. The second, sorry. You understand. The second, the third, and the fourth get an armchair, okay? Thank you.
I just wanted to know, with the chaise on the sofa, can we just order an extra arm to make it its own piece?
Sorry?
The chaise for the Costura, can we just order the extra arm and make it its own piece? So order it with 2 arms. Yeah, just have it be a chaise by itself. Is that a nice question?
So now the sides of the chaise would look not nice because there are holes. But we have just developed a system that will cover these holes. So you can put an arm on one side and this system on the other side. If you give me 5 seconds, I'll be back.
I meant 2 arms, but without arms would be nice to do that as well. Okay.
So this is brand new. We are going to have there are holes on the side, so we need to cover those holes. So we are going to have this piece instead of so we will be able to cover the holes with this, and so you can have a separate chaise. But now it's true that in one you would need to have 2 arms, because otherwise the sides will look not nice. Okay, more? Yeah.
Plan to add another seat in the middle, like now 2-seater and then the chaise. We have another seat in the middle for 3-seater and then the chaise in the future.
It's one of those things that could happen. One seat that it's only one piece, so that you could have a three. It's there, but we haven't. We don't have that many questions about that, but we have it sometimes.
Can you do the same thing with the chair? Are the arms removable? And if you wanted to, could you attach the chair to the sofa?
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Yes, you can attach one armchair to the sofa. Yeah. Only one customer has done this so far.
Just to chime off of what everyone else is saying, to go a step further, what are your thoughts about actually including, because I've been asked about this before, a corner piece as well, so you can actually start to build this up for clients, because I think many times clients that I've dealt with, they love it. I think their response has been amazing, but sometimes spaces are quite big, and it would be nice to know that we can actually take it a step further, like we're saying, with these removable arms and maybe other configurations or whatnot.
So having a chaise that can stand on its own, I think we are going to be able to make it. Having a seat that would make a 3 meter, well, like a sofa that it's, like this can happen. As I told you before, you can have two sofas that are linked together. So you buy two sofas, you get rid of the central arms, you put them together. So this is possible. Corner piece is not in my to-do things, but if I get feedback that people really need that, I will work on that for sure. But it's true that one of the key things is that you stock everything. So it needs to have a certain amount of volume to be able to stock that. Next one? Yeah.
Do you plan on getting the sofa in leather?
We are working. Last week I saw the first prototype of the sofa in leather.
Another question, actually. The bubble shape of the seat, is the cushion or the foam underneath formed that way, or is it formed by the stitching of the upholstery?
The foam itself has this shape. It's not a very common technique because it doesn't come from a molding. There is a technique that pushes the foam, so it's compressed. They cut the foam, and when you depress, it has a bubble shape. It's very nice to see. Good. What else?
So the front.
But a comment. I really love the sofa, and I want one for my home. So that's.
You should sell a lot. Yeah.
This is the plan. But I really like the fact that you can take the cushions off. I've got really, really long legs, and so you were talking about sitting and how your mom likes to sit, how your friends like to sit. I like to sit and sell the sofa from the standpoint of like sitting in the corner and facing friends, guests, whatever. And I like that my whole body is supported, mostly leg, on this seat, and that you can take the cushions off. If you've got a guest who wants to spend the night,
Absolutely.
cushions off. And I like to use that as a selling point.
Yep.
People like that when I take off the cushion and they realize that they can actually have a guest stay over, or just it's malleable, it's really functional.
Mm-hmm. I also think so. It's a guest bed, but well, most of the sofas are. But this is especially nice because you can. It looks nice when you remove the cushions. Yeah. Barry, you were going to.
The frame is molded plywood. Are the arms made of the same?
But it's flat plywood. It's flat plywood. Yeah. And it's really, really a strong frame.
How many layers of plywood?
I think it's 20. I'm not sure. It's 1 millimeter each, and I think it's 20. What else? Yes?
Just curious, are the legs only dark, or could they, I've had requests for them to be light. I don't know if it's a volume request or not, I was just curious.
The legs of the Costura collection are now black. And I have to say, I forgot to mention that they are aluminum made, but they have a plastic piece in the glued to the lower part with 2 pins that make so that they don't damage the wooden floor. Okay?
And the black is powder coated?
Powder coated black. What else? Any question? All the questions are about Costura? Good, we like that. So good luck in the semi-annual sale and all over the time, and good energy, okay?